Like so many other things in Islam, from talking vegetables to a farting devil, Muhammad's teachings concerning angels and jinn appear downright cartoonish, which, by the way, is passing strange for a religion that inspires fatwas against Tom and Jerry, Speedy Gonzales, and Mighty Mouse. If this is your first foray into the madcap mind of Muhammad, then you're in for a real eye-opener. Surah 32:11 speaks of the angel of death, the angel who takes a person's soul at the time appointed by Allah. Say, the angel of death appointed over you will take away your soul, then you will be sent back to your Lord. Commenting on this verse, Ibn Kathir stated, the apparent meaning of this ayah is that the angel of death is a specific personality among the angels. The angel of death has helpers. It was reported in the hadith that his helpers draw out the soul from the rest of the body until it reaches the throat. Then the angel of death takes it. Mujahid said, the earth is brought together for him, and it's like a platter from which he takes whenever he wants. With this background in mind, what would you do if the angel of death came to you? Better yet, what would you do if you were Musa, the Islamic version, or rather perversion of Moses, to whom Muhammad said the angel of death came, announcing Allah's death decree?
The angel of death came to Musa alayhi salam. فقال له أجب ربك.
The angel of death came to Musa to take his life.
He said to him, answer your Lord.
If you were Musa, would you submit to Allah's decree, because that after all is what it means to be a Muslim, and prophets are supposed to be sinless? Or would you punch the angel of death in the face, gouge out his eye, and send him back to Allah with his eye dangling from his head by his optic nerve like a tether ball? In order to answer this question correctly, all you have to do is ask yourself a further question. Which of these two answers sounds more outlandish? Which is just another way of asking, which of these two answers sounds more like something Muhammad would say? The idea that Musa gave up his life willingly and the angel of death took it without any difficulty, or the idea that Musa punched him in the face and the angel of death proved to be a one-hitter quitter? Now, if your answer is the former, then you've probably been getting your knowledge of Islam from Hollywood actors or from Western apologists for Islam. If your answer was the latter, then you've probably been reading Islam's primary sources, or at least watching our videos.
The angel of death came to Musa to take his life. Musa punched him in his eye and knocked his eye out.
No doubt after the other angels heard about Musa squaring off against the angel of death, they began to keep an eye out for Musa. Now, if you're concerned about the angel of death, don't be too worried, because after the angel went back to Allah, Allah put the eyeball back in its socket.
The angel of death went back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling him, and Allah knows, أرسلتني إلى رجل لا يريد الموت. You sent me to somebody who doesn't want to die. فرد عليه بصره. He restored his eyes and he said, اذهب إليه. Go to him. وأخبره.
Now, where would Muslims get such a bizarre story? Where else but in Islam's most trusted sources? In Sahih Bukhari, we read, narrated Abu Huraira, the angel of death was sent to Musa, and when he came to him, Musa slapped him and spoiled one of his eyes. The angel went back to his Lord and said, you sent me to a slave who does not want to die. Allah restored his eye. And in Sahih Muslim it says, it was narrated that Abu Huraira said, the angel of death was sent to Musa, and when he came to him, he slapped him and put out his eye. He went back to his Lord and said, you sent me to a slave of yours who does not want to die. Allah restored his eye. In another hadith, also reported in Sahih Muslim, we're told, It was narrated that Hammam bin Munabbih said, "This is what Abu Hurairah narrated to us from the Messenger of Allah." He narrated a number of ahadith, including the following. The Messenger of Allah said, "The angel of death came to Musa and said, 'Answer the call of your Lord.' Musa slapped the eye of the angel of death and put it out. The angel went back to Allah, exalted is He, and said, 'You have sent me to a slave of yours who does not want to die, and he has put out my eye.' Allah restored his eye." This story sounds a lot like an old Jewish fable. In fact, here's a rabbi telling a similar but less colorful version of this story.
What did Moshe do before he died? In other words, when it came time for him to die, he took the angel of death and threw him away, and gave blessings to the tribes, each one according to their blessing. So he threw the angel of death away and he gave the blessings.
An example of where this story can be found in Jewish writings is in Sifra Deuteronomy, which says, "At that moment the Holy One, blessed be He, said to the angel of death, 'Go bring me Moses' soul.' He went and stood before Moses and said to him, 'Moses, give me your soul.' To which Moses answered, 'Where I sit you have not the right to stand, and you dare say to me, Give me your soul?' Thus rebuking him, he left in a huff. The angel of death went and reported back to the Almighty. Again the Holy One, blessed be He, said to him, 'Go bring me his soul.'" So in extra-biblical Jewish writings, Moses refused to submit to Allah's decree, and rebuked the angel of death, who then went back to Allah throwing a temper tantrum, while in Muhammad's version of the story, Musa slapped the angel silly, and out popped his eyeball. Now, if you're wondering why Muslims would accept an obvious Jewish fable, filtered of course through the fertile imagination of Muhammad, in whose hands it became all the more ridiculous, the simple answer is because Muslims are taught not to use rationality or their intellect, but to be good little pupils of Muhammad.
And a lot of people, by the way, a lot of the people with the rationale, even so the hadith al-Bukhari wa Muslim, hadith sahih, the people who use intellect, rational, go like, "Ya akhi, what is this?